as a team, we were just off the pace. But we had a great day.
So it
was a perfect day. Couldn't have been.
What did you need? Did you need a high handicapper? What's the?
Yeah, we probably.
How does that happen where you don't win?
We just needed a high handicapper who makes a lot of pars. That's all you need in those kind of handicapped events. You need people who with high handicaps who make a lot of pars. But our 9 played out of his mind. I think our 9 shot a 74, I want to say, and played.
Oh, geez.
He was great. I mean, he was great.
You have to wonder if he's really a 9.
It's a beautiful swing. He said this drive. He's like, I don't normally drive the ball this well, but I mean, it was great. So we had the most important thing, all A+ humans, championship humans, and we had a great time.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We had a nice day off. I did not.
No,
I didn't have
you
a day
okay?
off. No, I had a fist fight with the back is what it was. So I mentioned this to you guys, I think, on Wednesday as we were winding up the show, that there was something going on in the lower back, and this happens from time to time, but I hadn't had anything in a while. So I finished the show, and then I hopped in the car to go get the boys, get Bootsy from school. And really, as soon as I sat down in the car, I said, "Well, this isn't right. This is not right. And I don't know, frankly, how I'm going to navigate the car. Luckily for me, my car navigates itself.
That's right.
And that was honestly a bit of a saving grace because
that's a nice feature.
I don't know if I could have kept it between the navigational beacons. So it was a pain that was on the lower back that then crossed over the hip and then down the front of the leg. Kind of
like
culminating right above the knee.
Sounds like a nerve.
That's right.
I'm not a doctor.
Culminating at the top of the kneecap with a pulsing pain that was really unbearable, quite unbearable. And it became obvious to me that I could not sit down for any amount of time, and really still haven't been able to much. So, like, as I'm in line for Bootsy, I get out of the car. Like, the mothers who are along line with me picking up kids have got to think I'm a lunatic. Like, why are you out of the car? Do not approach me. Nobody wants to be approached in a pickup line. But I had to stand out of the car just to stretch out. Got back in, had an evening that was completely unmanageable. Zero sleep. Could not get comfortable. There was no way to sleep because you couldn't ever alleviate the pain, even with, Advil, Tylenol, all of that stuff. So yesterday morning, make the call to the chiropractor. Let's go check it out. And come to find out, and I texted you guys this a couple of weeks ago. Laurinaitis tells me, you really should, because I've been doing cardio. He's like, you really should work in some lifting. And he's like, squats. You should do some squats. And he goes, well, when's the last time you did squats? And I said, what, 19, I suppose, was the last time I did a squat. So I go. So in my head, I'm thinking, well, I'll just go lightweight, and I'll be fine. I'll just go ultra lightweight, like really lightweight, like 100 pounds.
Like a bar over your shoulder squats? Or were you doing like holding a dumbbell?
Two dumbbells. Two dumbbells down. So this was, clearly all wrong. The chiropractor goes, "You been doing anything different?" I said, "Well, I've been doing this." He goes, "You're an idiot." And I said, "Oh, okay. I guess I am an idiot. I didn't, I'm very naive to these things." And he goes, "You're an idiot. You shouldn't. That was really stupid what you were doing." He goes, "Honestly, like, you should just have done body weight. Like, why aren't you just doing body weight at this point to get back into it?
Remember
like,
I told you those
Jess
Sims Flash 15s? That's what you got to do, dude. You'll get 30
right. Well, I'm not ready
dumbbells.
for that yet.
You're ready for that.
I'm not ready for that.
You will be sore. Your legs will
be
sore.
No, I got to build up to that. No.
All right. So do some body weights.
No,
there's body weight classes on the Peloton.
We're a start at ground zero.
So do body weight.
We're at a start at ground zero situation.
Work some lunges.
Well, that's where we're headed. So I go to my guy. He tries to get me in. I get, kind of put uncrooked. So that's a nice job out of him. But I'm still, so I'm still in it. So that's where we are, doing some stretches. Was able to sleep last night. The only positive that came of this is because I really couldn't do anything for any amount of time other than like lay on my stomach, alternate between laying on my stomach and laying on my back flat. So yesterday, while Gibbe was doing an excellent job of doing the show, and from what I understand, plugging the BPA 15,000 times, I decided what I would do is watch Goodfellas. So I hadn't seen Goodfellas in a long time. It popped up on the rewatchables, so I thought I would give it a watch. I haven't seen it in a long time. It holds up brilliantly.
It's pretty good.
And what was most amazing is the use of Joe Pesci, who refers to Billy Batts, who's played by Frank Vincent, the legendary Frank Vincent, refers to him as a blanking mutt. And I thought, it just slayed me when I heard him say it, you blanking mutt. And I thought, I got to work mutt into the dialogue more often. What an incredible derogatory thing to call people. I'm going to start calling the boys mutts.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, isn't that just a tremendous shot? You're a blanking mutt. God, what a time. So I'm going to start working mutt into it. So that was the big positive that came out of it yesterday. So we're standing. We haven't really sat down. We're standing. We're icing. We're stretching, and hopefully we're coming out of this. A little better today than I was yesterday, but happy to report that at least we're up and able.
Well, good. I'm glad that you are back. You are moving around and all of those things. Pretty good run, by the way. Frank Vincent, who was Billy Batts. I was just looking up the cast when you said Billy Batts. That's pretty solid. He's had a tremendous run.
Well, what's cool is, and I hadn't seen Goodfellas in a really long time.
That's Phil Leotardo.
So you're Billy Batts, but then Pesci gets him in Goodfellas. Then he gets Pesci, if memory holds, he gets Pesci in Casino.
In Casino, yep.
In probably the worst, mafia death of all time ever shown on film. I think that was the worst one ever. Like, I can't even watch that. If that show's on, if that movie's on flipping and it's close to that part, I got to bail. I can't see that. So that, to me, was the worst. And then he's Phil Leotardo in the final season of The Sopranos as the big bad versus Tony, and I think he probably wins even though he loses, right?
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yeah, he was quite successful. I'm just saying that's a pretty good – he is not nearly as
great
well.
Run.
No, Frank Vincent is not a name that rolls off of your tongue. And not for me. If I look at him, I would probably think Phil Leotardo before I even thought Frank Vincent. But he was in a lot of these big movies with Pesci and De Niro and Chino and Sopranos and all.
Yes.
I mean, he's pretty legit.
Yeah. Right, and he's a man of consequence on the Sopranos. I mean, he's an enormous person of consequence. As he's running the New York outfit. I mean, remember he said at the end, "No more, Butchie, no more."
Yeah,
remember that?
Definitely.
And then he goes to war. I mean, he's formidable.
Quite.
Yeah, certainly formidable. So anyway, we're back and better than ever on the program here as we get into the OBM Hot Topics Ohio. Oh, by the way, and thank you to the official Nana of the show for checking in.
Yeah,
wanting
Nana
to make
was
sure everything was
concerned.
okay. That's why she's the official Nana. That's it.
Nana,
official Nana of the show. Good job.
She let me know. She goes, Gibbs is alone. I go, what do you mean? Gibbs is alone. And she's like, Beau wasn't there. It was just Gibby. And I said, do you mean just like on camera? Because I said, Beau's not back in the studio yet. She's like, no, there was no camera because it was all Gibby. Yeah. All the time. She said you did a good job, Gibby. She appreciated your stylings.
Of course he would.
Got a good
this
assist
is
from
a situation.
Fish. Gribble came on, Fontana, Gerard, Mike Clay. We got through it. It was
Mike
all
Clay.
good.
Today's his birthday, by the way. Did you wish him a happy early birthday?
No, we did not.
No, I didn't know. Well, yeah.
Didn't know.
There it is. Okay.
I think the sign of someone worthy of being the official Nana is when she listens to the show when even her own child isn't on it. That's how you know you're the official Nana.
Yeah, she enjoys the first the opening segment usually. That's where she really locks
the preamble.
Yeah, she likes that. She enjoys it before it gets too it gets too
time to get into the OBM Hot Topics. Ohio Business Machines. Right. Preferred copier provider, your Cleveland Browns. All the X's and O's for your office. Call 216-485-2000. Visit ohiobusinessmachines.com. A little bit of there was a smattering of things in the sports world in the last 24 hours or so. The golf at Kiawah is really pretty great. The place looks awesome. I've never been there. You've been there?
No.
You haven't, right?
No, but it looks everything about it is great. I'm enjoying it. I'm for it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to miss it in August. My attention will be fully on the NFL in August.
I agree with you. Yeah, and I think that it's nice. It's nice here. I watched some of it yesterday. Watched it this morning. Phil Mickelson, your leader, with a one-shot lead right now. Yes, Phil Mickelson. I think he will come to regret wearing the mirrored sunglasses. I think he'll come to regret that in time. Like if he wins it this weekend, he's going to wish that he had a nice aviator as opposed to a mirror I think Amir is pretty aggressive.
I think he looks great. I love everything about the Phil Mickelson experience.
No,
I think he's really leaned into. He's become a great comedian. He doesn't take himself too seriously anymore.
Oh, I know.
I love everything about him now. I'm rooting hard for him. I want him to win.
Me too. Me too. I think it's amazing. He's 50 years old, and he's leading this thing.
That's right.
And the wind is going to be a huge, huge factor in this throughout the weekend. But it's been fun to see, and I'm for it as well. So good stuff on that front. The Tim Tebow experience is off and running in Jacksonville. I know people have been up in arms about this. Look, he's one of 90 guys, but I think the thing that we talked about this, I want to say last week on the show, let's remember who Tony Khan is. So he is AEW, and that's promotions. Did you see Schefter's tweet this morning of the 5 hottest selling jerseys in the NFL?
Yeah, not hard to see. Absurd. Did you see on the Jacksonville website the 3 jerseys they had were Lawrence, Etienne, and Tebow?
Yes.
It is the
So
best-selling. Rovell just tweeted out, Tim Tebow's Jacksonville Jaguars jersey is the best-selling NFL jersey at the moment in youth, men's, and women's. He is the first player to have a best-selling jersey with 5 different teams.
How do you explain the phenomenon of him?
Could you even name the 5 teams? Denver.
Jets, Broncos.
Jets, New England.
Jets, Broncos. Was he in
Jacksonville.
New England?
Yeah, for a second.
New England, Jacksonville. Who would have been the 5th?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know that. I didn't even remember the Jets. All right, Broncos.
I remember that was option second chance. I thought was Jets.
So he's got Jags, Broncos, Jets. They're counting his New York Mets jersey, which was the best-selling MLB jersey in the country for a little while. Then came a signing with the Jaguars. Counting his Gators jersey, he's the only player to have ever had a best-selling jersey for at least one day in 5 different uniforms. So Florida, the Mets,
It's
really?
Yeah.
I don't remember his Jets
He
tenure at all. I have zero recollection.
Wasn't that right after? That was right after Denver, wasn't it?
Yeah, did he play for them?
I can't remember if he did or if he was just in camp. I don't remember if he made the team or not. He must have made the team.
He was definitely in camp with the Patriots, and I don't think he made the team.
Right. I'll tell you this. His constituency, whatever you want to say about it, is incredibly loyal. Incredibly loyal. And in his constituency, he walks on water.
Yep.
And Jacksonville knew that, and so they're getting 2 things out of it. They're getting this, which inadvertently or maybe advertently is going to take certainly going to take pressure off of Lawrence. I assure you, when the media down there in that town, the first request they're going to have is Tebow. It's not going to be Lawrence.
Oh yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So just real quickly, Jets. He was with them for the 2012 season. He threw 8 passes and rushed 32 times. That was it. Then he was with the Patriots the day before, signed June 10th, the day before the team's mandatory minicamp. 2-year contract with no guaranteed money. Played in the first 2 preseason games, completed 5 passes, both games, sacked several times, intercepted once. 6 for 11, thrown a pair of touchdowns, 1 interception, gained 30 yards on 6 carries against the Giants, sacked 4 times, released on the day that the teams were required to cut their rosters to 53. Didn't have it. Then he signed a 1-year contract with the Eagles in 15. He played all 4 games in the preseason. I have no recollection of this.
No recollection.
All 4 games of the preseason, no starts, 21 of 36 for 286 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, while rushing for 82 yards and a touchdown. He was released on September 5th following the 4th preseason game. Actually sounded pretty good in Philly, to be honest with you, in that preseason. And then that was it. So he went in his year with the Jets 6 of 8 for 39 yards, 4.9 yards an attempt, and ran 32 times for 102 yards. He was also sacked on 2 dropbacks. So he got sacked on 20% of his dropbacks. Wow, remarkable. But he did beat Steelers in playoffs. And one of the most, slant to Demaryius Thomas, one of the most incredible plays ever.
He's still running. Yeah. No one was
By the way, in that game, listen to these numbers. This is that playoff game against the Steelers.
Yeah.
19 of 47, which is a 40% completion percentage.
Wow.
Okay, but that's not. I don't even know that's the real wow. 452 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, granted, he got like 90 on the play to Demaryius Thomas, but 19 completions for 452 yards.
In the other 18 throws, he completed 360 yards?
Yeah, at least, maybe even more. He's basically averaging 20 yards of completion. I mean, more than that for the game. But
what
even
the heck was Pittsburgh doing in that game?
I have no idea. He was sacked 5 times. He also ran for 63 yards and a touchdown. So he himself was directly responsible in that game for 515 yards of offense, 3 touchdowns. He did lose a fumble. He was sacked 5 times. But, I mean, 19 of 47?
It's incredible. Crazy.
As of 2020's NFL offseason, Tebow holds the Broncos franchise records for passer rating in a playoff game, which was 125.6. That is just wild. Sacked. Oh, I'm sorry. Those were 2 game totals. My apologies. Those were 2 game totals.
Oh, okay.
2 game totals.
Okay. I was going to say, that's...
Yards per attempt in a playoff season. He does have the record, though, 9.6. Now, his game against Pittsburgh, I got to get that game log. He averaged 15 yards per attempt in that game against Pittsburgh.
Jeez. That's incredible. That's incredible.
15 yards in attempts?
It's crazy.
All right, here we go. Here it is. Here you go.
Pull it up.
Here
Give the people what they want.
Tebow against the Steelers, 10 of 21, 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, ran for 50 and another touchdown. So under 50%, he averaged
31 yards of completion?
a completion. And the touchdown to Demaryius Thomas was 80. It was 80 of that. So even so, his other 9 completions went for 240 yards.
240 yards on 9 completions for 240 yards.
On his other 9. Take that 80 off.
Jeez. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Hold on. Wait a second.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Our guy, Darren Fells' brother, Daniel Fells, was the tight end for them in that game. 2 targets, 2 catches, 57 yards. Eddie Royal, 3 catches, 49 yards, and a touchdown. Demaryius Thomas, 4 catches, 204 yards, and a touchdown. So even take the 80 off, that's 3 for 124.
Jeez. Man.
The running back that day was Willis
Can you
McGahee.
imagine?
Jeez Louise.
Can you imagine the delight of Demaryius Thomas when Peyton Manning walks in the door?
Oh, my goodness. Yes. Yes, I can.
Can you imagine?
Well,
wait, what? The ball's going to hit me here every time? You gotta be kidding.
Demaryius Thomas, I don't know that he gets enough respect, honestly, for his career. So in 2011,
it fell off, right?
But listen to this 5-year run that he had.
Pull it up. Give it to me. Give it to me.
5-year run. 2012, 94, 14, 34, and 10. 2013, 92, 14, 30, and 14. 2014, 111, 16, 19, and 11. 2015, 105, 1304, and 6. And then he had another 1,000-yard season in 2016. Like, that 4-year, especially, that's early 2000s. That's got to be as close to as good a 4-year stretch as anybody had during that time.
So what happened to him after that? After Manning left Denver, what happened?
Then he had 1,083 and 5, 949 and 5, and then he slowed down. But you got to remember, he was a big guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he still played
Was
in
he Georgia
2019. His last year was 2019, had 433 yards and a touchdown with the Jets.
Is he Georgia Tech?
Georgia Tech, exactly. You were exactly right. Yep.
So they had him and Calvin Johnson, and
Yeah.
they ran a triple option offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he's got to be
Absolutely wild.
that stretch that he had.
It's a great run.
Yeah. Like, I wonder for those 4 years if anybody had more receiving yards than him in the league. I mean, that's
During
14,
that time, you'd have to
14,
look at.
16,
I mean, my guess
13. Maybe Calvin Johnson.
either Antonio Brown or Julio are the only ones that come to mind that would be in that neck of the woods during that time.
I don't even know though if Antonio Brown on the early part of that had peaked yet because they still
I
had
don't know
Mike
either.
Wallace and Emmanuel Sanders in 12.
Yeah.
Demaryius Thomas, 4-time
Those are the
Pro
only two I
Bowler.
could think of.
4-time Pro Bowler, never led the league in receiving. So those were never. He never led the league in receivings those years. I'm trying to see where he was from a season per season. I mean, he was the top. He was a top 5 fantasy receiver 4 years in a row. So from a reception touchdown area, he did pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Pretty
Pretty
solid.
good right there. This is pretty good as well. Tommy Togiai under contract now, gets his rookie deal signed.
Good.
And so that's very good news to see there, to get him in, get him locked and loaded. We have an Ohio Lottery Keep It Fun web poll. All right, let's ruminate on that for a second. While we're thinking of that, obsessing over something like football can be a problem. If you're obsessing over gambling, it can be dangerous. Do something to take your mind off it. If you want some tips on what that can be, go to keepitfunohio.com for great ways to keep gambling fun. Is there anything we can do with the PGA at Kiawah?
I'm just sad John Daly shot an 85.
I know it.
Are you one of those people that root for the course or root for the player? Is there something there?
I've never rooted for a course in my life. Never had.
No, always the human.
Yeah, humans.
Not me.
Yeah,
Humble.
humans.
Bring you down to my level.
Of course.
Let's go.
Yeah, but the funny thing is,
The way I played Wednesday, my clubs belong in that water.
they're not ever going to be at our level. Although Tyler Collette
yours.
shot an 88 and then withdrew. So that's 88 I feel is relatable. But John Daly, 85, very sad. Hate to see that.
Yeah, that's sad.
Especially, didn't he hole
Is
out
Kiawah
on
the-
hole 1
He
yesterday?
was 1 under after 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeesh.
Is Kiawah the East Coast Pebble?
That's probably fair. I think that's probably a fair
Both
thing to
public?
say.
Yeah.
It's pretty
All
darn
right,
good.
we'll come up with something. We'll come up with something on the PGA Championship
All right.
front. All right, lots to get to on the program today here on a Friday edition. We'll take a look at our offense versus our defense. Is it still the strength of the team? Plus CBS Sports, boy, they love a good NFL ranking. They got another one in terms of the offensive ranking system and where we stand on that front. So we have that to look forward to, go around the league as well. Off and running here on a Friday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily. Beau Bishop for my great friends at Weather Seal Home Services. Are you having problems with your roof? Call Weather Seal Home Services now. Get a beautiful new roof in 1 week. $1 down, free gutters during the Weather Seal Spring Roofing Sale. At Weather Seal, you get up to 7 years, 0 interest with approved credit and reducing your monthly payment. What a win for you. Trust in Weather Seal to do the job right for the best price and the lowest monthly payments. It's as simple as that. Don't call anyone else. Call them today at 877-351-SEAL or go to weathersealhomeservices.com. They will take care of you the way that they take care of us. All right, Gibby wants to know, because of how talented we are now defensively. So, Gibby, let me make sure I'm phrasing this right. You want to know what percentage of our strength is our offense versus what percentage of our strength is our defense. Is that correct?
Yeah, I saw something earlier in the week, another poll, something on one of the big shows, either Get Up or Good Morning Football. And it was in regards to another team, and I was like, how much of this team are you relying on the offense, and how much can you rely on the defense now? Like percentage-wise.
Yeah.
My feeling would be that I feel I would give the offense the slight lead, 55-45, but it could get to 50-50, which is probably what it's intended to be, if this defense can get on the same page, which is why, them not being out there walking around drives you nuts, because you'd love to see. I mean, we could have 9 new starters on defense, and every rep that they would have would be so valuable. So but I think in terms of the way that this thing was built, it's a 50-50 split is the hope.
It's pretty close. I mean, I was looking just off the top of my head. Let's just go, first rounders, second rounders on offense and defense, right?
All right.
On offense, you've got Baker, Odell, Conklin, Jedrick Wills, David Njoku, right? Am I missing anybody? Those are your first-round picks on offense?
Those are your ones?
Yeah, you have 5 first-round picks on offense. Second-round picks on offense, you've got Chubb, Bitonio, and Jarvis Landry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 5 firsts,
8.
3 seconds. So 8 of your 11. But JC was a 4th-round pick. Wyatt Teller was like a 5th-round pick. Hollywood was a 5th-round pick. Kareem's a 3rd-round pick.
Kareem's a 3rd.
Austin Hooper, I believe, was a 3rd-round pick. Let's see. I'll pull this up in 1 second. But I believe he was also a 3rd-round pick. So, which is, again, still pretty darn good, right?
Really good, yeah.
Pretty good. So that's your offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, your first-round picks, you've got Miles. You've got Clowney, right?
Yep.
Let's see. I'm trying to look for his
Malik Jackson, was he? Tack McKinley,
Denzel, and Greg Newsome. Second-round picks, you've got Owusu Koromoa, Delpit, and Greedy.
Yeah. 8.
And then you add it, so it's 8 on both sides, but then you add in a guy like John Johnson III, who has been a stud.
That would almost be the Kareem swap.
So
John Johnson for Kareem.
And he's a 3rd-rounder, right? John Johnson III, but is also, he's been a stud in the league. You've got, and then you'd say Kareem on the other side. Ronnie Harrison's a 3rd-round pick. I mean, it's just the amount of talent on both sides of the ball is really remarkable.
I think that's what I think. I think the way this was built is a 50-50. It's just the defense is a year behind getting on the same page. That's it. I mean, I think the equal, and that's probably how you try to build a team, right?
Yep.
The equal amount of assets. Maybe you'd give a slight lean to offense, but you'd want equal assets on both sides of the ball. That's true balance. If you're in the top 10 in offense and defense, you're going to win.
Yep.
Period.
Hoop, by the way, also a 3rd-rounder, 2-time Pro Bowler. Malik Jackson was a 5th-rounder, but has also been a Pro Bowler. Ronnie Harrison's a 3rd-rounder, would be another 3rd-rounder of note on this team. I mean, I think it is pretty 50-50. I think your defense has the potential to be just incredibly incredibly explosive. Incredibly
Well,
explosive. Because
I mean, even in the ones, what do you have? You had 5 ones on defense.
yeah, and it's
you
all
have 2
pass
number
rushers.
1 overall picks.
It's all pass rushers and corners.
Denzel's 4th.
Right.
Yeah,
you
got 3 guys in the top 4 in the draft.
1, 1, 4, and then I think 26, 26. I think Tack was also at 26. Baker was 1. Odell was mid-first. Conklin ended up, I think, was 8. Will's 10. Joku in the 20s. And Odell in the teens.
Pretty even.
I mean, right. And then Chubb and Bitonio are both very early second rounders. Both very early second rounders. I think both may have been picked 34, 35. Actually, Chubb was 33, right? Didn't we go Chubb? Then they went Will Hernandez. And then we took who's our other second-round pick that year? Why am I blanking on that? Austin Corbett?
Austin Corbett.
Yep. And then and Bitonio was picked 35. So he was also the 3rd pick of the second round. So I mean it's a loaded roster. I mean, I don't think anybody's
yeah, certainly.
Yesterday because I was out and about and in the mix on the golf course and everything. So of course, as you know, when people want to know, like, what do you think about the Browns?
They want to know
what's going on. What do you think?
How did they take it? Did you have a similar experience as I had over the weekend, where it's almost like don't even talk like that, don't talk out loud like that?
No, these were in their own right very, I would say, highly successful people who probably have a mindset that are not afraid of success. And so they were like,
are you suggesting that the people that I was associating with Sunday were not highly successful people?
I'm not suggesting that at all.
Is that what you're insinuating?
I'm not insinuating
that at all. Feels like it.
I'm saying these people the people that I was with, I've known for a long time and don't have a mindset of that there's superstition and things that are going to limit Cleveland. They're just like, this team is really good. We should be good. They were all of the mindset that I want to get this group together as fast as possible, and I would love this group to be together right now.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's tough. And you know what? For all of the criticism, and a lot of it is deserved in terms of the comments about Travis Etienne, the signing of Tim Tebow, various other things. Everybody's in Jacksonville.
Yep.
The whole team's there. He's got a full attendance.
Yep.
Now, is that new coach, young team? I don't know, but they're all there. They're all there. And, that is for the criticism, and a lot of it justified in terms of some of the stuff he said and even the stuff he's done. That part of it, their guys are there, and it matters that they're there, in my view. So I'm sure your playing partners felt that way as well. But getting back to the root of the question, I think it's very clear. Nothing here is done on accident. Nothing that Paul DePodesta, Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, nothing that they do is on accident. It's all very much on purpose, very well thought out. There is an almost even split of asset accumulation to the offense and the defense. It's right down the middle.
Yeah, and as one of our readers pointed out to me, I got to give him credit for saying it because he was right. Corey, he said MJ Stewart was also a second rounder. That is true. MJ Stewart also a second rounder on the defensive side of the ball.
So it's basically an even split.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yep. It's even on both sides of the ball, certainly. All right, coming up next, CBSSports.com with an interesting ranking system of offense. And it goes through a lot of different variables. We'll tell you where we land on this list coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. If your game plan for this season includes buying or selling a home, Howard Hanna Real Estate Services has you covered. Visit howardhanna.com/go-browns today. I'm trying to make sense of Kiawah. So and Gibby, because you've never been down there, right? Z, you've never been to the South Carolina, right?
I mean, I've been in South Carolina many times, but I've never been to Kiawah Island.
Okay. So it's a hole in the resume. I've never been to Kiawah or South Carolina for that matter. I've never been.
Oh yeah, many times.
I've heard it's a treat. Is the geography of it like houses, swamp, beach? Because that's kind of how it looks on TV. It looks like there are houses, boardwalks through like swamps, beach. It doesn't seem like there are houses on the beach.
And not necessarily beach, just giant areas of sand.
Sand, yeah.
Like, it's not even necessarily a beach.
Well, there is beach here, though.
Correct.
I mean, you can
there's
see
beach, but like in parts and other courses that I played, especially around Myrtle Beach, there's just giant. They're not even sand. They're not bunkers. They're football field length. Just like
sand. Waste area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Like dunes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the waste area. That's a nice little name for it.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting because most places that have an access to a beach, you find the houses and the resort up on the beach. But that doesn't appear to be the case here. It appears that it's set back inland from the water, that you have kind of a bit of a hike, really, to get out there. If you were going to go out to the beach, you'd need some sort of transportation. I don't know that you'd want to walk it. Looks spectacular, though.
In Myrtile, you're
does look spectacular.
Myrtile. And what's the? I'm trying to think I think I must have been in Myrtle. But yeah,
my buddy is like wasteland.
Yeah, there are wastelands, but there are some nice
Realtor
beaches too. There are some legit resorts on beaches and things of this nature.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there would have to be. Okay, here's a big aerial shot. All right, so Kiawah's right on the water, and then you have to go across bridges into a swamp area,
right?
And then there's some houses like amidst the swamp.
Yeah, that's basically all of the coastline of South Carolina.
It's all like that. That's why the Pirates thrived. Port Royal.
Sure. You
thrived
said it
there.
confidently. I
like it.
Yeah, well, Z's about to find out with little black sails.
So exciting.
Yeah, that's how they were able to get it done. All right, this from CBS Sports. All right, so what they're doing here is they're ranking the NFL's best offenses with an interesting set of criteria. They use a weighted grading system where they rank each team 1 through 5. 1 is terrible, 5 is elite in the following areas: quarterback, play caller, head coach or offensive line, pass catchers, and running backs. And so that is the criteria. The scores are then weighted. Quarterback was the most important component of the offense, followed by play caller, offensive line, and pass catchers, and finally running backs. So there's some imperfections of this already you can see because it would depend on what type of offense you're playing and what you're taking advantage of. So that the weights reflect as closely as possible to the reality of the way modern NFL offenses work. In the event the teams ended up with the same weighted score, the first tiebreaker is quarterback rating. So that is how they get to these. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the number 1 ranked offense on this list per Jared Dubin's ratings here. And I do find it interesting when people do things like this. This is like the type of stuff Shook would do.
Yeah.
Remember the Shook?
Yeah.
The big Shook.
Advanced
This
stuff.
is his type of work.
Yeah,
you're looking at a lot of data points and you're trying to sort things out. They have us. Go ahead. Do you have something, Gibby?
Yeah. By the way, the guy that did this piece, and there's a couple others that he's put out today and will put out next week in terms of rankings where he has us pretty high. He will join us on Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
He's moving.
So he's got the
today.
Chiefs
Otherwise,
number 1.
Jared would have come on with.
Okay, well, very nice. We'll have that to look forward to, which is nice. So he has the Chiefs number 1, the Bucks number 2, the Packers number 3. Those are the tier 1 offenses. Cowboys, Rams, Bills, and Browns number 7 on the offensive list. I will just say this again. The amount of belief, and I mean, there's nobody who's been a bigger Stafford fan than me, but the amount of belief that he alone can make them elite again in a hurry is pretty remarkable. Now, they drafted Tutu Atwell. Deshaun Jackson's getting up there in age, though.
Yep.
They are consistently, every time I see one of these, whether it's offense or overall team, they are consistently rated in the top 6 or 7 always. Whether it's total offense or best team, it does feel like people are a little too excited about him. That's just my hunch right now in May.
It feels that way to me as well. For example, their running backs getting a 4 seems high to me. Do you agree with that?
Cam Akers? Yes.
He's good. I like him. Darrell Henderson's good. But
they're fine.
To say that they're, light years better than Devin Singletary and Zach Moss in Buffalo, I don't know. Do you put those guys in that offense? Are they just as effective? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I think it's too high, and I agree with that point. They give the Buccaneers a 3 for running backs.
Our
Are you sure that they're that much worse?
Right, and he gave Baker a 3.5, worse than Matt,
which is a half point better than our boys with the Saints.
Worse
than
hold on. Worse than Kirk Cousins, worse than Tannehill, the same as Ryan Fitzpatrick, the same
significantly worse than
Ben.
Lamar, by the way.
He gave Joe Burrow a 3. Worse than Carr. Huh.
I don't know. We talked about this on Wednesday. I just think there's a disproportionate amount of doubt in Baker for what we saw on the field. I just don't think it adds up. I don't.
I agree. I think, Stefanski getting a 4.5. Okay. McVay still gets a 5. Are we sure he's still a 5? Are we positive?
Yeah, you sure about that?
You sure about that? The only 5s given out are Andy Reid, McVay, and Kyle. Stefanski 4.5 is way up there, and is actually that's tied with Daboll and tied with Arthur Smith in Atlanta now. Do you think our pass catchers at 3.5 is that a little bit of disrespect for Odell, Jarvis, Austin Hooper?
If Odell was healthy, I would say it would have been higher.
Yeah.
They get Baltimore at 3.5 too. I just think you're dealing with, Odell coming off a catastrophic injury, so that's probably why that's. I think the Baker rating is the more egregious.
Sure.
One, him at a 3.5 is the more egregious of them. Especially the idea that Lamar is a 4.5. The guy won the MVP, but there are clearly some limitations to what can happen there, and to say that he's just a barely a rung below Rodgers and Brady and Mahomes. To me, it's more like that should probably be more in line with being a 4.
Yep, I would agree. It's we're picking nits here.
Well, that's what you do with these.
That's what you do,
right?
Right. So you want your point total to be higher or low? I don't quite understand when I say
higher.
Okay, so the Chiefs are 23 and they're 1. The Bucks are 22 and they're 2, and the Packers are 22.5 and they're 3. We're 21.5 and the Bills are 19.5.
Because they weighted quarterback. So they weighted quarterback as most important. So Josh Allen at a 4.5 pushes them over us in their rankings because we're at 3.5 with Baker.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So they're saying, what he's also saying then is that if you take away the quarterback position, only the Chiefs, Bucks, and this one's shocked. I don't understand.
No, just Chiefs and Bucks.
And the Saints. The Saints are at 4.55, no QB.
Well, Kamara, Thomas.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Their line, he gave
Our
their
line's
line
better.
a 5.
Well, they're giving their line a 5.
Yeah. Sean Payton also a 5 for a play caller.
We sure?
Well, that's what it says. I'm just telling you what it says.
No, I know. I'm just saying. We sure?
I just don't think that if so I believe, and you tell me if you disagree with this or agree with this, but if we're a 5 at running back, nobody else can be a 5. They can all be 4.5s because they have a superstar, a Dalvin Cook, and Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
But nobody else can be a 5. Nobody else
I would agree with that.
Has, in the event of your top guy going down, that you could still have a top running back.
Nobody else.
Nobody else has that.
Nobody else has that circumstance. No, I would agree.
So I'm objecting to anybody else being a 5 at running back if all we can be is a 5.
This is something that, and historically Baker has used this to his advantage to great extent and to incredible heights. But there is a tremendous amount of disbelief in what happened the last 2/3 of last season. People just don't buy it. They think it was a mirage. They can't get over with how the year started, can't get over 2019. Justifiable or not, anytime we are ranked, the holdup is the way that people view him. And that's just the reality. Now, we don't feel that way.
Nope.
Because we saw it. We saw it on tape, and we know what he's capable of. And I think it's a little bit disrespectful, but I think it'll play well for him. I think he'll like that as being the reason that this offense is being held back. I think he'll play well despite that and to prove that. He has played with a chip on his shoulder only his entire life and done it to great, great success. And I think that'll be the case here. This is another example of it. You take quarterback out of it, they have us as the 4th best team in football, 4th best offensive team in football. And I think that's not even doing it justice because, to your point, we should be the only 5 running back. And honestly, I think our receivers, tight end, should be a 4. So.
And by the way, we can do this another day, but Mr. Dubin 4 hours ago also laid out his top 10 defenses for 2021. And
are we there?
Third. Washington football team 1, Tampa Bay Bucks 2, Browns 3.
Well, so if you it would seem to me, and we'll ask him when we have him on here, that the focus is pretty simple. That the only question that he would have individually is Baker. That everything else, that our offense aside from quarterback is top 4, our defense is number 3. So if Baker can play the way he played the last 2/3 of the season, you're going to have a team that's a Super Bowl contender, and that's exactly what the Cleveland Browns will be in 2021. That's what they should be based on the roster that is here, certainly. I look forward to having him on. That'll be a fun conversation to have. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we will get you a little reset on the PGA. Final hour of the week coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, final hour of the week here on Cleveland Browns Daily. When you're dedicated to bringing the best value to your customers, you got to do a little bit of work. Northeast Factory Direct, founded on the principle that quality shouldn't have to cost a ton. They prove that every day by keeping the overhead low, buying by the truckload, and passing the savings on to you, the customer. So when it comes to mattresses, well, they really outdid themselves. They searched the entire country to find the best factory with the best warranties, and now they have the latest technology in mattresses for a fraction of the cost. Northeast Factory Direct has you covered. King, queen, full, twin, bunk, they're all there. Box springs and more. But unlike ordering online, you actually get to sit on it, lay on it, try it out before you buy it. Check them out at West 140th Street in Cleveland, Lakewood Boulevard in Euclid, or Freeway Drive in Macedonia, or shop them online anytime at northeastfactorydirect.com. Phil Mickelson still leading the PGA Championship at Kiawah. This seems like an absolutely brutal place for someone who's not good at golf to spend an afternoon.
I've been told it is, by many people who have played there, it's the hardest course that they've played. With the wind, with the conditions, it is just an unbelievably brutal test of golf. I like golf to be fun. Yep. I like good shots to be rewarded. Those places, they can be really, really tough. I told you the story. I played at that place called the Concession, where they just held a tournament earlier this year down outside of Sarasota, and they had to change the course to be able to have a tournament because it was too difficult. The time I played it, its slope was higher than Bethpage, which is absurd. I mean, just brutal. It's not fun. Yeah, golf's hard enough.
Yeah, and it's a challenge because there's. A place like Kiawah and Bethpage would fall into this, which a lot of people say is hard, and Pebble can be hard, depending on the conditions. I mean, these are all places anybody can play. You go play Kiawah, I think it's $500 a round. It's like Pebble, right? Isn't it similar pricing as Pebble? You go and you pay $500 or $600 and you can play the place. But they have to have a balance. And then I just imagine like amateurs trying to get around here with any sort of timely manner. I just don't know how you could play anything other than a 5.5-hour round of golf.
Yeah, even if you're playing well, it's just right when you're hitting that many shots, it takes a lot of time. And that's the other thing. You get to some of these courses where the greens are, so fast and so undulating and so tough that if people are really putting it into the hole. Really putting into the hole. So a lot of these courses, a 3-footer could easily become a 3-putt. If you're being honest with yourself and really putting in the hole, you could be there forever. You could 4-putt every green. I mean, even a good player who doesn't know the greens could.
Yeah. Well, these guys are doing that today. Bubba Watson just missed probably an 8-footer by 3 feet under the hole, and it rolled to what is it, Gibby, like 3.5, 4 feet away? And you could tell he was waiting for it to stop rolling before he marked it.
He went to mark it, and the wind blew, and the ball started to move again. So then he had to sit there and wait. And he tried to do it 3 different times.
Wow. And this whole area has been, and I know there's a ton of Ohioans who go down to this to South Carolina. It's a huge, really a magnet for Ohioans. And it's drivable, which is a nice thing. A lot of people go down there and drive it. But I think the other thing here is, this is one of the things where technology has led to an incredible population surge, in that it became known that this is one of the sunniest spots in the United States year-round. Like it's sun shines constantly there, and the weather's in that sense is and then a lot of people move there. What do they call this? The Low Country? Is that what they call this part of South Carolina? I think so. Yeah.
I like that.
I like that. So and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's been known that it has the most sun. Or as much sun as any place in the United States.
Yeah, except for the 3 days that I played golf down there. It was great. Sun never came out. 40 degrees, wind blowing sideways. Yeah, all right.
And when you were there, wasn't it like 65 here?
Yeah.
It
was beautiful
here.
It was.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the day I left, it was 70 down there. It's perfect.
Give me Mickelson and Koepka in the final pairing.
I love that.
Yeah. Yep. That'll be what I root for there. Hey, did you see this story yesterday when you were off? The report out of Detroit on what the Lions offered Matt Campbell. Have you seen this?
They offer him a lion?
Well, you could buy several. a whole fleet if you wanted, reportedly offered him $68.5 million to coach the Lions.
Hold on. Matt
Campbell.
Iowa
State, Matt Campbell.
They offered him 68. He
68.5.
said no. Then they said we already got the Campbell nameplates and all that, so we'll just go to Dan.
Find another one. Let's find another Matt Campbell. Find Dan Campbell.
Wait,
Can
what?
you imagine turning down 68.5? The thing that's crazy about it is even if it's completely not stable, you're still going to see every penny of it, and you're still going to, when you're done, even if you got fired, you're going to end up at a better place than Iowa State.
All right, this is from the Detroit Free Press. The Detroit Lions did not swing and miss on Matt. This is from 10 a.m. today. The Lions did not swing and miss at Matt Campbell in their winter coaching search because they did not swing at all. CBS Sports reported yesterday that Campbell turned down an 8-year, $68.5 offer to coach the Lions. Lions source with knowledge of the team's search process Friday said no formal offer was made to Campbell and that the Lions got the number one candidate on their list, Dan Campbell. Okay.
Liar.
Okay.
Lies. That's not the real truth, Bootsy.
No, that does not.
That's not the real truth.
That doesn't sound like the real truth
No.
at all. That sounds like
no,
man. I didn't want Matt Campbell.
That looks like somebody searching for technicalities to me.
Yeah.
What did you say? What did they say in that? There was not a formal offer.
Hold on.
Read that again. That bunch of PR nonsense.
Here it comes, and I quote:
Give it
"A
to
Lions source with knowledge of the team's search process said Friday no formal offer was made to Campbell, and that the Lions got the number one candidate on their list."
Oh, boy.
You just got to say no offer was made. Once you say formal, that means there was
formal offer.
That's right.
That's a lie. So, yes, they did. What will it take, Matt? Well, we could go as high as 68.5. Sorry, I'm going to say a name's Iowa. I'll pass.
Pass. No thanks. That's hilarious. Formal. They did not. No, they didn't make a formal offer. What are you talking about? Not true. Not true.
The idea that they think that would put a Band-Aid on it.
No, not going to work. Not going to work.
No, not at all. I'm surprised. Good Massillon boy. I'm surprised he didn't take that. That money he's going to spend. The 68.5, you would have seen all of it.
Yes. Well, what was his deal? Do you know what the numbers were? Because I signed an 8-year deal with Iowa State. Was it the same?
He makes good coin there for sure, but I mean, the thing about Iowa State is that is one of the worst jobs in Power 5 football. That is, I mean, you're really close to the border of South Dakota. You're second fiddle in your own state. Well, he's got a really good team coming back, but it's also a little short-sighted. It's a little short-sighted to think that that's going to be maintainable. Now, I understand you wouldn't want to. Maybe you don't want to coach the Lions. Who knows? Maybe you view yourself as a college coach. Could be that too. I know his name's been bandied about for years on the NFL side of things. That the NFL really likes him a lot. Similar in the way they feel about Lincoln Riley, although maybe not quite as much, and Ryan Day as well. Like those are the three guys that always get a lot of attention from the college realm. But to stick it out at Iowa State is the thing that's tough. And he's done a tremendous job there, but he's hitting his head on the ceiling of what's possible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it seems that way.
He's not at Texas.
But that does make it sound like I would say that it may be a bad move then. No formal offer was made.
That's what I think.
But something was made, and it feels like not a good idea.
Yeah, and I think even if it fails, you can still end up at a better college position than the one you're at currently. His rebound job from Detroit would be better than the job he's in.
Yes. I think that is quite fair. Quite fair.
All right. Into a...
Can I ask a question? Am I missing something?
DeChambeau just carried at 370.
Jeez Louise.
Hit the ball 185 miles an hour into a headwind. Jeez. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, James Palmer reporting and retweeted by Ian Rappaport. Patrick Mahomes is ahead of schedule in his rehab and will participate in the Chiefs' OTAs that start on May the 25th. Oof. The thought right now is he will do some stuff and then be fully ready to go for training camp, but he will be there. Pat Mahomes with the Chiefs, the favorites in the AFC. This is something that just keeps popping up on my timeline, and maybe I missed something yesterday. But all this talk about Julio Jones being traded, and then I keep reading about Julio Jones and the Browns in same tweets, which sounds like just wishful fan thinking. Is there what's going on with Julio? Did something happen yesterday? They said we're actually now trading him. Now it's happening.
No, there's just been the conjecture. Gibby could speak to us as I was laid up watching Goodfellas, learning to be able to call my kids mutts. But from a it seems to me like a fake story with Julio. I was talking to somebody this morning about it, and they said that they don't think there's no trading of Julio Jones.
That salary cap number for this year, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but somehow it's been rekindled. There was something out of Atlanta that the Falcons are still looking to shop him. But of course everybody just jumped on board with, these are the suitors.
So here's what I think. There's nothing going on, right? We have had the quietest NFL offseason of all time because there was no combine. There wasn't visits in free agency. There weren't players going around before the draft. So there's no news. It's a very quiet time. And so you grab onto something like the Aaron Rodgers or this, and you just hang on for dear life so you have some content on the NFL. But there really isn't anything. I don't know what Atlanta's motivation would be to trade him. Like you drafted Pitts, I would assume, to play with Ridley and Julio Jones and Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I would.
Why wouldn't you run that out there?
Why wouldn't you? Right, makes no sense. Especially if you're sticking with Matt Ryan, you're saying we're going for it. Julio Jones to me feels like a big part of going for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it feels like that
to me anyway.
I feel like I agree with you on that. That's the way you do that. That's the way you do that. Hey, this might be a good poll question for us. Which of the 4 golf majors has the best trophy? Because the Masters trophy is pretty lackluster. The jacket's the jacket.
The jacket
but
is
the
what
trophy
I consider
is a house.
the jacket the trophy.
Well, no, there is a trophy. It's the clubhouse, the tiny, smaller clubhouse that they have. I consider the jacket the trophy too. So you Wanamaker, which is pretty legit. The Wanamaker's pretty legit with the PGA. I mean, I think the Claret Jug, and then what's the Open thing called? The U.S. Open thing.
I'm looking. Yeah, the Masters trophy is not great. The U.S. Open trophy, second old. 1947 is a replica of the 1895 original, was destroyed after the 1946 winner Lloyd Mangrum took it back to his home club of Tam O'Shanter, Chicago, and the clubhouse burnt down. I don't know if it has a name other than the U.S. Open trophy. The best is the Claret Jug. I'm looking at all of them right now. There's just no doubt.
Well, the Claret Jug has function, too. Like, you can pour whiskey in it, wine,
and
then drink out of it. That would be a win.
Could be on a Game of Thrones set.
Really good. The Wanamaker's pretty impressive, though.
It's nice. It's a nice trophy. Yeah. The Wanamaker's nice.
I got to pull the U.S. Open.
The U.S. Open trophy's whatever. The Amateur Championship trophy's pretty strong. I think that's pretty stout. I like that one.
Yeah.
The
U.S.
Masters
Open
trophy is
no good.
I had never even seen it before. I just Googled this and looked it up.
It's just the clubhouse, isn't it?
Yeah. I kind of like the South African Open trophy as I'm looking at the best trophies in golf.
The Wanamaker's huge. Holy cow, is it huge.
It is, but, I mean, there's no doubt the Claret Jug is the best. I don't, in my mind anyway.
Yeah.
It's a beaut.
It's pretty dignified.
It's really dignified.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
beaut.
a good one. And then conversely, and on that same line, has any major fallen off more in the last decade than the U.S. Open in terms of your interest in it? And I used to love it.
If I were to rank them, I would. It's always been.
They've had a run of. They've had a run of really bad setups. I mean, you think about Shinnecock or Chambers Bay, like they've had these crazy setups where the people just don't like it.
Right.
They don't like it.
Or they're not traditional.
Right.
U.S. Open.
Right. All right. That might be a good one. Maybe you do that. Which is the best major championship trophy, Gibby? That'll give you your Ohio Lottery. Keep it fun, Ohio.
But I mean,
poll.
is your ranking though the same in terms of the majors? Isn't it always the Open, Augusta,
It's
US Open, PGA?
Open, Masters. I mean, honestly, when it comes to me, the U.S. Open and the PGA Championship are the same tournament. They're the same. The trophies look the same. So what's the difference? It seems like they play similar courses. You know, the U.S. Open forever played like prestigious country club courses that nobody could ever get on.
Yep.
You know, like Medina or, what's the places in Pennsylvania that they would play, Oak Hill or Oakmont, those places. Like it was places you couldn't see. But it does seem like they've kind of switched. Like I know, like for example, like Congressional was always a U.S. Open spot, right? And it's going to host a PGA in like 2034.
The U.S. Open needs to be the tournament that is played at, like you said, an exclusive, difficult to play course, or Pebbles, fine, but where they set it up a certain way. Very narrow fairways, very high rough. It rewards shot making accuracy. The PGA should be Augusta's Augusta. The PGA should be at a really cool course that's got kind of everything where you can bomb it, you can do a lot of different things, and then the British Open has its own style. Like the Open Championship and the U.S. Open should have particular styles. Augusta's Augusta, and then the PGA should be kind of more modern golf. I think.
Well, I think you should be the commissioner of golf, and then that's what you should get done right there. Because I agree with you on that. I think that's a pretty good assessment of what they should be. I don't know if that's what they are.
Same.
This one's fun though. Here, all right. Coming up next, we got a little more rankings. Pure Joy, PFF, top 32 tight ends in the NFL. We will tell you where our guys come in on that list. We'll go around the league at the bottom of the hour. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, we were saying, the feel for the U.S. Open. So here are the future U.S. Open sites, and you will find it's interesting. But it's not consistent, and if you follow golf, you'll see what I mean here. Torrey Pines this year.
Okay.
The Country Club at Brookline, which hadn't been a country club since '88, but they've hosted it 3 times. So the Country Club at Brookline, L.A. Country Club, which has never hosted it, Pinehurst #2, Oakmont, Shinnecock, Pebble Beach. 2028 is to be determined in Pinehurst #2, and then Pinehurst #2 is basically every 6 years through 2047. Pinehurst #2 is in that, and so they're basically every 6 years it'll be at Pinehurst. I mean, it's pretty crazy that it's there 2024 and 2029. It's like the official home of the U.S. Open.
That's a lot, yeah.
PGA Championship next year, Southern Hills in Tulsa.
Okay.
Oak Hill in 2023. Valhalla in Louisville in 2024. Quail Hollow in Charlotte in 2025.
Don't they already play an event at Quail Hollow?
They do.
Yeah,
I don't like when they do that.
The players? Not the players.
I don't like when they do that either.
Well, it used to be the Wachovia. I'm not sure what it's called now.
Valhalla they've done before, right? Southern Hills they've done before. What was the one you said after Southern Hills?
After Southern Hills, it's Oak Hill.
Oak Hill,
And then Valhalla, Quail Hollow, and then I'm going to butcher this, Aeronomic Mink in Newton Square, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And
Come
then
again?
2027 PGA Frisco in Frisco, Texas. That'd be nice and balmy.
Got to be a brand new course.
2028, the Olympic Club in San Francisco.
See, that's a U.S. Open course.
Yeah.
That's a U.S. Open course.
I don't like that.
Baltusrol.
That's a U.S. Open course.
That's in 2029.
That's a U.S. Open course,
2030 TBD. 2031 Congressional.
Okay.
And then they're going back
Haven't
to
they played
Frisco,
the US
Texas
Open at
in
Congressional
2034.
So, yes, they have. So, they have. In fact, Rory won at Congressional. So, this PGA Frisco, I believe that's the new home of the PGA, is there. So, I think they're building that course for that. I have never heard of the course in PA. Aeronomink, I've never heard of that. In Newton Square, Pennsylvania, I've never heard of that course. But here's the thing. Many of these seem like U.S. Open courses, and then the U.S. Open is like a mixed bag of places you can play, like Pinehurst, Pebble, Torrey Pines, and exclusive country clubs. It's like both.
Yeah.
Like, just split them off. Have the PGA be ones where you can play, and the U.S. Open be ones you can't.
Or vice versa. I'm fine with it being vice versa because I think
either way.
There's so much history with the U.S. Open at Pebble, et cetera, that I'm fine with keeping it that way. But to me, the U.S. Open is about the condition of the course and what is going to be demanded of the golfer.
Right.
That's what it is. The PGA should be at like all these cool places, cool country clubs that you wouldn't see otherwise, or cool new courses that are, like I want there to be a major championship at that what's the place? Wolf Run or whatever it is out in Mesquite, Nevada.
Oh yeah, Nevada.
Yeah, like I want a major championship there. But that's a PGA to me.
Yeah.
That screams PGA cool.
Yeah, that's not a U.S.
cool
Open.
course. Let's go out there and hit bombs off of cliffs. Like how fun would that be to see?
Be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
know
would.
it.
That would be amazing.
So make me
And
the golf czar. Do you
it's
know
interesting,
anybody?
there's-
Get me involved. Major championship czar.
Aeronomink, maybe? Is that the name of it? It's
Sounds
located
I mean, I
just
said it that
outside
way
of
with
Philly.
a certain amount of authority. Okay.
Yeah, just outside of
Yeah.
Philly.
I don't know. I think
rich history dating back to 1896.
a name like that, it has to, right? I mean, it would have to have that.
Yeah.
What you don't see on there anywhere is a course in Ohio. And we have far too good of golf courses in this state to only have the Memorial Tournament every year. That's shameful. That's shameful. I mean, there's 8 championship level courses, 4 or 5 that have hosted before. I mean, Ohio's got to get it together. There's no reason we don't have a PGA or a U.S. Open in this state. No reason.
Agreed.
We've got to have 7 or 8 of the top 100 courses. I mean, there's 4 in Columbus alone. The top 100 courses in the world.
I'd
Right?
like to play
What's
that.
the one in Toledo? that's always
Innsbruck.
It's hosted
Inverness.
yeah.
Inverness.
Inverness. You said it. Inverness. Yeah. Right.
Innsbruck's in Tampa. Inverness. Haven't they had something there before?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while though. I mean, we've got courses around here. Firestone.
Yep.
There's the 4 in Columbus. There's one the one in Cincinnati, Carmago or whatever it is. Like, come on. Ohio's got to get on the map here, man.
In reading into this more, this course in Philly that's hosting it, it will coincide with the U.S. The 250th anniversary of America's founding in Philadelphia. Is basically what it means. So that's why they're doing it. It has hosted it hosted the 1962 PGA Championship won by Gary Player.
Jeez.
Been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty wild to say the least. PFF ranking the top 32 tight ends in the NFL. Our guy Austin Hooper comes in at number 17 on this list. He was number 11 in this list last season, despite signing the deal. They say 75% of his receiving output came on targets defined as attacking holes in the zone or underneath the defense. His results weren't nearly as strong when matched up in man coverage. The move to Cleveland comes with a downtick of production last season. I think I think he had a great year. And I think if you paid attention to what he was doing for this offense, it'd be impossible to overstate how good of a year he had. Yes. With that being said, I was shocked at how little he was involved in the passing game, especially early. Like, you would have felt like he would get 6-7 targets every game, and he just didn't.
Agreed completely. I think he's still a very, very reliable target. He is not, a seam-stretching tight end. He is not a huge threat after the catch. What he is a guy who knows how to get open and knows how to catch the ball, especially in the red zone. And we saw that as the season went on. He's an excellent blocker as well and plays well in this offense. So you like what you got out of Austin Hooper. I think our offense, the one guy in our tight end room who could become a star if he ever puts it all together is Njoku, because he has the athletic profile to be able to do so. But I think Austin Hooper is an excellent, excellent tight end and perfect for what this offense requires and needs and the way that it is built. Whenever you needed a catch on third down, you throw it to Austin Hooper. Fourth down, he goes and makes a crazy one-handed catch to keep us in that game with the Chiefs. I mean, he is so reliable. I do think that it was surprising after watching training camp that didn't manifest itself in the season the way that it did during training camp. But still,
Agreed.
An excellent performer and very, very skilled technician for the Browns.
Yeah, certainly is. All right, we go around the league coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Are you on the injured list? We can help get you back in the game. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO today for a free case review. Elk and Elk, a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time for a little Around the League with Gibby. How are you, Gibby?
Good, fellas. 30 minutes.
No pun intended.
30 minutes. Weekend. Weather looking good. How about the stretch? Pretty impressive. I don't mind turning
Can we get pools to open?
Can
Can we get the pools opened? I know it's supposed to Memorial Day is the opening day, but let's adjust to the weather. Like, right? Am I wrong? If I'm running a pool,
Patience, grasshopper.
no.
It's time to get them open. They should have been open a week ago. Yeah, you got to see this coming.
See the weather.
See an 8, you got to go.
And let's go.
Got to be ready.
Let's go.
Yeah. On to that end, we're doing some landscape work in the back.
You don't say.
And they laid a bunch of coping, big hunks of stone coping that was mortared, and they put the wrong mortar in.
Oh, happy Friday.
So that's going to be that'll set that project back a little bit.
There'll be there'll be an airing of the grievances, I feel like.
Hate to see it.
You do.
You like your knees?
Hate to see it.
There have been a few. It feels like there have been a few missteps along the way.
Setbacks. Few missteps, yeah. You blanking mutt. That's what I feel like saying.
Yeah.
Me and Pesci. Do you realize how many great lines he has in that? It's not only like, what am I funny?
Do I
like
amuse
funny
you?
how, like a clown, but like the spider stuff. Do I amuse you? The stuff with Spider. He like says to Spider, "What are you going to do there and cry after he shoots him in the foot?"
Jeez.
This guy's incredible.
He is incredible.
Real tour de force.
Has anybody? Okay, so you said there was a rewatchables about Goodfellas that you jumped.
That's what got me to watch
okay.
it. Is
so I'm
because
guessing
they did it, and I hadn't seen it in its direct. Yeah, you see parts, but I hadn't seen it like in its R-rated, unobstructed way from start to finish in probably 20 years.
So you know what they do? Like, what do they do? Where they call like peak or whatever for somebody if it's their like
Apex Mountain.
Apex Mountain for sure. Ray Liotta's that's his Apex Mountain, right? I mean, he was able to get some stuff
There's not even
off of it, but then it's a cliff.
It's not. It's so far Apex Mountain that the crazy thing about him is, and I used to have this argument with a buddy of mine that he borderline wrecked the movie for me because of how much he overacts in it.
Yeah.
I came around a little bit in this second viewing, thinking that he actually was really, really good. But for the longest time, I thought, gosh, like he's overselling everything in this thing. It's just so much overselling. But yeah, he is off the grid after it, just completely off the grid.
So I lived in Springfield, Illinois for a time.
Okay.
Right. I would say Field of Dreams is the other thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. And he literally he is a lover of cars and expensive, hard to find cars. And there is a car dealership in Springfield called Isringhausen Imports. Jason Isringhausen, former MLB, his family owns the dealership.
Sure.
He would come in to purchase these exotic foreign cars from Isringhausen Imports. And you could find him sitting. I knew where his bars were. We would get a little heads up, and you'd go and you'd sit and just drink with Ray Liotta all night.
Cool guy.
One of the coolest guys you'd ever want to meet.
Well, good.
That's good.
Good dude.
Good.
But you're right.
Not
on the movie list. I'm not quite sure where all his list comes from.
I mean, Goodfellas. Was that obviously the conclusion they came to on the show that was his Apex Mountain and he might not even have another
I haven't
mountain?
even gotten to the part. I'm not even to the Apex Mountain part of that podcast because I can only listen in stretches.
Yeah.
So I can never listen straight through. But I'm not to that part of it yet. But it would have to be his by 1,000 miles.
Yep.
And you could argue it's other guys too. I mean, you know, Pesci wins an Oscar for this, then does I think My Cousin Vinny, and then into Casino. Like that's an incredible stretch for him. De Niro, it's pretty good for him too. That's Cape Fear, and you probably go more late 70s for De Niro. That would be probably be my guess on how you'd go for him. But it holds up. I'll tell you that. It absolutely holds up. And I think it's more rewatchable than The Godfather because The Godfather is so long.
Yes. I mean, it's a tour the cast is the Goodfellas cast is unreal.
Oh, I want to say I think there's about 30 people just in watching it. There were about 30 people who were in The Sopranos.
Yep.
That were in Goodfellas.
Yep.
I think there's about 30.
Vincent Pastore.
Sure. Large P.
Huge.
You guys want to do a little around the league?
Sure.
Let's go.
Hey,
Let's go.
End of the week. Got some fun questions, topics I've seen throughout the week. So I'm totally stealing from other people, but that's what happens when there's nothing going on. And normally we have this problem, quick peek behind the curtain, usually second or third week in June. We have a 6-week stretch.
Not now.
We are there before Memorial Day.
Yeah, early.
That's right.
We're a little early on this. So, but we're fighting through it. We're going to come up with we need to come up with a new
bracket?
Yeah, we have to or like a top all-time team. You know, we've done that, but is there another version? Working on that.
We'll have some. We have.
All right.
Well, we don't have time. Like, time is now.
That's right.
I think we're
next
here
week.
at that point.
Jay Calabrese says we're forgetting Copland for Liotta, which is, of course, 1997. Sylvester Stallone, Ray Liotta, De Niro, Harvey Keitel. I think we're properly rating that relative to Goodfellas.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I would say. I was going to say, no, we're not.
Like,
that's exactly where it should be.
Yep.
We're leaving that right where it should be.
Yeah.
I remember so excited to see that. I went to the theater and saw that. It's a debacle.
Copland. Yeah.
Stallone's all whiny and fat. It's terrible.
Stallone, Liotta, De Niro, Keitel, Rappaport, Janine Garofalo.
Yeah, they thought that was going to be something. That was not great.
Hey, we signed another tight end just now.
Oh. News.
Travis Kelce?
No.
He will be in Jarvis's softball game, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I did see that. Will that be here?
It is. It's going to be a classic park.
Nice.
I just sent this to you, but we waived Kyle Markway, which I think we did yesterday, and we have signed Connor Davis.
Oh.
Out of Stony Brook.
Sure.
Spent weeks 11 through 17 on the Jets practice squad in 2020.
Going to be a tough nut to crack, those four.
Yeah.
Welcome. Good luck. Godspeed.
I like these kind of moves. Like, is this more of a we've seen all we can see out of Kyle and it's just not right, so we've got to bring in another body? Or is this, boy, we're pumped about Stony Brook Connor?
I think it's the former.
Yeah. Well,
need another human.
Well,
but God bless him. Good luck to you.
Good luck.
Welcome. We're a little bit of an upgrade from where you were.
Just Blake Hance.
All right. Question number 1 as we go around the league to close out the week. Which QB has more on the line in 2021? Jalen Hurts or Tua Tagovailoa?
Tagovailoa.
Exactly.
Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah.
Where does the N come from?
Tua Tagovailoa. I don't know.
Yeah, there is no
That's
N.
what it is. Tua Tagovailoa.
You're right. That is what it is. The answer is Tua. I mean, nobody's expecting the Eagles to do anything of consequence. There are people who think the Dolphins are a very, very good football team. And when you've got Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle, and Mike Gesicki to throw the ball to, I'm expecting you to be pretty good.
Tagovailoa needs to be good or else he's gone. Jalen Hurts is a second-round pick with a team that's going nowhere. He may be gone anyway, but very little is expected. I feel like everything he does is house money.
Correct.
Number 2, which NFL QB is being overlooked heading into 2021?
Real quick on that last one.
Yep.
The reason that there is so much love for Spencer Rattler, you're seeing the early mocks that have him going as the first quarterback and maybe number 1 overall. Lincoln Riley, Jalen Hurts, they thought he was going to have to play safety.
After Alabama.
He was done
at
Alabama. He goes to Oklahoma, is a Heisman finalist, a second-round pick, and is the starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles as a rookie. That's Lincoln Riley. And that's why people have Rattler, who was benched last year at the beginning of the year and was good at the end of the year, but hasn't really shown much. People just have so much faith in Riley as a quarterback builder. That's an example of it. What was your question? Most overlooked quarterback heading into 2021?
Correct.
Baker Mayfield. Disrespected all over the place.
That would be the one that is closest to home, certainly. And I am by no means not an apologist for this person in any way. I just think like some of the discourse around Jared Goff is nuts.
It is nuts.
I just think it's nuts.
He's set up to fail.
He's not my guy.
He's not going to have a good season.
He's set up. No, I understand it, but it's not his fault. And I think that this notion that he's garbage that has been perpetuated by people around the league, that is if he was, and I think it's all because of McVay. There's such a love affair with McVay that all of a sudden the Rams are going to be Super Bowl contenders with Stafford and Goff is trash. I don't know. It's probably somewhere in the middle.
Right.
And I'm not like the biggest Goff guy. I'm not. But it just seems like it's really overboard.
Yes. Agreed.
Up next, I got a feeling I know the answer to this already, but which first-year head coach quarterback combo will have more success this season? Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence or Robert Saleh and Zach Wilson?
Give me Trevor Lawrence in this because he's Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Would you take
it doesn't
Saleh
really matter.
over Urban Meyer?
If I'm
go
ahead.
I don't think that matters. Urban. Let's be real clear. Like Urban was pretty revolutionary. He is one of the original minds behind the spread offense in college football, from Bowling Green to Utah. Like it's him and Rich Rodriguez. There's a couple of other guys that did it. He was the first one that went full spread in the SEC, and at the time they said nobody can do that. You can't run the spread in the SEC. And then he did, and he won a national title in his second year. And so he is a pretty good offensive mind, certainly. And I think that you also have to remember the circumstance they're in. There's nothing to believe. There's no more reason to believe that Robert Saleh will be success in the NFL than there is Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer's the safer bet.
Right. If I had to bet on who will still be the head coach of their team in 8 years from now, I think the only one that has a chance is Robert Saleh.
I agree. That's a different question, but yes,
yep.
I agree. I would put the over-under on Urban at 5, maybe even 4.
Gotcha.
I think losing is going to eat him up. I think it's just going to eat him up.
You can't stack the deck either. You can't just out-recruit.
No. It's going to kill him.
Who is more important to their team in 2021, Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara?
Kamara. The Saints have some good things there and could be a competitive team, and he is, I think, critical to what they do offensively. Not to take anything away from Christian McCaffrey, but I feel better about the Saints' ability to win the NFC South or to come in second, let's say, in the NFC South than I do the Panthers, regardless of what Christian McCaffrey does. And I feel for him. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to waste the prime years of his career without ever having a chance to compete for anything.
Do you think – are you more sure about Winston or Darnold?
I'm more sure about a guy that can throw for 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns in the NFL. Who's done it.
Yeah.
I mean, he also has an incredible propensity to throw pick sixes that I think you got to believe at some point you can coach him out of, but maybe you can't. If he's not better after a year at quarterback university, then I think if he's not good this year, it's maybe toast time.
Yeah.
I won't ask you anything about Julio Jones. We've already talked about him. We all think he's going to be back with the Falcons. Am I correct in that thought process?
Yes, but I could see somebody making a play for him. These rumors are out there for a reason.
Of the teams you listed, Gibby, I mean, the one that would be the most intriguing to me would be San Francisco.
Yes, back with Kyle.
The why I put the Chargers in there, the Chargers have $20 million in cap space.
Him, Keenan Allen. Put Keenan Allen, slide him and Mike Williams outside. I mean, definitely the Ravens would not be great just because they're still good, but he would be – that's not where Julio Jones needs to finish his career. The Patriots, same thing. Chargers, I'd be fine with. 49ers, Atlanta, I'd be fine with. If he wants to end up where, I mean, I don't know how, if he wants to go full circle from the team that could have drafted him low those many years ago, that's fine too.
Final one here real quick. You've got the number 1 pick in the PPR league. The draft is today. There's no dynasty or anything like that. You're starting from scratch. Who are you taking and why as of May 21st, 2021? Zegura, I'll start with you.
My guess is I'm going to be taking Christian McCaffrey because I don't know that anybody is going to be more central to what their team does and will touch the ball more than Christian McCaffrey will. So I would probably say he would be my number 1. Kamara's right there. It's probably one of those two or Dalvin Cook. I mean, I think those 3 are probably in their own.
Yeah, Dalvin would be interesting.
They're in their own kind of league right now.
McCaffrey injured last year was brutal. I mean, I had him last year. It's just brutal when you just wonder, are you going to be able to get back from that?
Yep.
That's an interesting one. Yeah. You wonder if somebody new emerges in that role too. If there's a young guy who kind of vaults into that realm a little bit there. So, all right, good stuff out of you, Gibbe. Still so much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. I cannot get my mind around Kiawah. They just showed a shot.
Too tough?
Off the tee. Well, yeah, it looks incredibly tough, but off the tee, there is what appears, the ocean looks way, way, way to the right, and then to the left and in front, it's just all swamp. Like there's not a house, there's not any, I can't understand. I'm going to have to go there. I'm going to have to go there and sort it out.
We'll check it out. We'll have to do it. That'll be a CBD
right.
on location / golf trip.
Boy, there you go.
A
little golf trip.
Ideas. I got ideas for you.
Gosh, that's what broke our heart was the Green Bay.
30.
Good on Kohler.
Devastating.
Hate to see it. Hate to see it. Not great. Next level coming up next. Have a great weekend, everybody. We are back.